The artificial lights of New Terra Station's marketplace cast long shadows between the vendor stalls, creating a maze of commerce that sprawled across 3 levels of the orbital platform. Among the countless species that called this trading hub home, humans remained a curiosity. A young species that had only joined the Galactic Confederation 50 years prior, yet had already established themselves as surprisingly resourceful traders and laborers. Mino clutched her 7-year-old son David's hand tightly as they navigated through the crowded bazaar. The Xentorian merchants hawked their exotic fruits with crystalline voices, while Vorthon engineers demonstrated their latest gravity manipulators to interested buyers. But Mino's attention was focused on the modest human-run grocery section, tucked between a Kalarian spice shop and a Thraxian weapons dealer. The young mother's credits had been stretched thin since losing her job at the station's atmospheric processing plant. David's father had departed on a deep space mining expedition 2 years ago and never returned, a fate that befell too many human workers who ventured into the galaxy's more dangerous sectors. Now, with David starting his education at the station's multi-species academy, Mino found herself counting every credit. She had carefully selected basic nutrition packs, synthetic proteins, and vitamin supplements, the bare minimum to keep her growing son healthy among the station's diverse population. The total came to 127 credits, exactly what she had budgeted from her savings. At the checkout counter, a young human cashier named Marcus processed their items with practiced efficiency. His uniform bore the insignia of the Terran Trading Collective, and his name tag indicated he was originally from Earth's European sector. "That'll be 127 credits," Marcus announced with a smile, noticing David's wide-eyed fascination with the holographic price display. Mino activated her credit chip, but the scanner beeped red. "Insufficient funds," the automated system announced in its clinical tone. Her heart sank. She checked her account balance. Only 89 credits remained. The station's recent increase in atmospheric taxes had automatically deducted from her account that morning. "I'm sorry," Mino said, her cheeks flushing with embarrassment as other customers, including a towering Kalarian diplomat and several chittering insectoid traders, began to line up behind her. "I need to return some items." She began separating the food, prioritizing David's nutrition supplements over her own meals. David watched silently, his young mind beginning to understand the weight of their situation. Marcus observed the interaction, his expression thoughtful. Around them, the other species conducted their transactions with typical efficiency. Credits transferred, goods exchanged, business completed. It was the standard protocol of galactic commerce. But something made Marcus pause. "Ma'am, wait," he said, his voice carrying a determination that surprised even him. "Don't return anything." Mino looked up confused. "I don't have enough credits." "The total is 89 credits," Marcus announced, canceling the previous transaction and manually adjusting the prices in the system. He then discreetly activated his personal credit chip, covering the 38 credit difference from his own wages. The Kalarian diplomat behind them made a sound of interest, a harmonious chime that indicated curiosity. Such behavior was highly irregular in their experience with galactic commerce. "I can't let you do that," Mino protested, but Marcus was already processing the payment. "It's done," he said simply. "Make sure the kid gets his vitamins." David tugged on his mother's sleeve. "Mom, why did he help us?" Before Mino could respond, the Kalarian diplomat stepped forward, her crystalline features shifting to display what her species considered profound intrigue. "Human," she addressed Marcus with her melodic voice. "Your species' economic records indicate you earn minimal wages in this position. This action reduces your personal resources for no calculable gain. Please explain this behavior." Marcus bagged Mino's groceries, considering the question. Around them, other alien customers had stopped their shopping to observe. Word was spreading through the marketplace's neural network about the unusual transaction. "She's a mother trying to feed her kid," Marcus said, as if it were the most obvious thing in the galaxy. "Where I come from, you help when you can." a Vorthan engineer whose species prided themselves on logical efficiency, approached the checkout counter. This contradicts optimal resource allocation. Your assistance provides no evolutionary advantage to your genetic line. Marcus handed the bags to Mino, who was still stunned by the stranger's kindness. Maybe not, he acknowledged, but it's the right thing to do. The phrase rippled through the gathered aliens in dozens of languages and communication methods. The right thing to do was a concept that didn't translate easily. Most species operated on principles of reciprocal benefit, genetic advantage, or logical necessity. An elderly Thraxian trader, whose species had conquered half the galaxy through ruthless efficiency, clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. Human, your species is still new to galactic society. You will learn that such emotional decisions are inefficient. David, who had been quietly observing the exchange, looked up at the towering alien. But if everyone only cared about themselves, wouldn't that be sad? The question, asked with the innocent directness of a child, created a moment of silence in the bustling marketplace. Marcus smiled, ruffling David's hair. "Out of the mouths of babes," he murmured. As Mino and David left the store, overwhelmed with gratitude, the alien customers began discussing the interaction among themselves. Word of the incident spread throughout the station's networks, reaching the ears of the Galactic Council's anthropologists. Later that cycle, reports would be filed documenting another example of human behavior that continued to perplex their alien neighbors. The tendency to sacrifice personal resources for the welfare of strangers, driven not by logic or genetic advantage but by an incomprehensible concept they called compassion. In the Council's files, it would be noted as yet another data point in humanity's growing reputation. A species that somehow thrived, not despite their apparent irrationality, but because of it. And in the small quarter she shared with David, Mino prepared dinner with ingredients purchased through the kindness of a stranger, teaching her son that sometimes the most human thing you can do is simply help someone in need.